and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I thought I would do a good old classic January favourites. I used to do favourites videos quite a lot, like years ago, towards the start of when my channel was a thing, and I haven't done them in a while. They kind of died down a bit. Not that that should mean you can't do them anymore, like you can film whatever videos you want. They've kind of come back a little bit, I've noticed. I wanted to do some more of these. I might not get a chance to do one every month or have enough to talk about every month for a favourites video, but I thought I've got some things I could talk to you about that I've loved this month, so why not make a video out of it? My favourites are just mainly things that I've watched or played or whatever, so it's not really anything to show you. One physical favourite that I have is this coat here. It's this coat. I bought this recently, I bought it this month obviously, and I have absolutely loved it. When I've had the chance to, I've been wearing it. It's so nice. I've been wanting a coat like this for a while, and I thought, you know what? I really do need a new coat. I have one big puffy coat, which isn't always ideal for every situation. I wanted something a little bit thinner and one that would go with a bit more, and I'd seen a lot of these style coats and I really wanted one, so I found one, and it was in my last video actually, my last sit down video where I did a haul. It was in that, so you might have already seen it, but yeah, I absolutely love that coat. It was a great purchase and it was pretty affordable as well, so I'm very happy about that. Now to the rest of the favourites, which are all mainly like games and shows and stuff like that. So my favourite game of this month, well, I have a couple. I started playing the Uncharted games recently. I think I started the first one for January. I think it was December I started it. It must have been. Was it? I can't remember. But I've now played the first three already, and I kind of got through them pretty quick because I just fell in love with them. Yeah, I specifically put Uncharted 2 on this list when I was making it because that was the one I like started and finished this month. And I thought, well, like the third one I'll probably finish that. I might not finish that by the end of the month. I finished it very, very quickly. The third one I finished the quickest out of all of them. I was really surprised when I was getting close to the end. I was like, wow, I'm getting through this very quick. But I absolutely loved it. So I think Uncharted 2/3 would both be in my favourites for this month, but also all of them because I have played a bit of all of them in this month. So yeah, 1 to 3 I've loved. I also a couple of days ago purchased the remastered version of the fourth game, which I'm going to play very soon, so maybe I'll talk about that in the next monthly favourites, who knows. But the Uncharted games in general I've absolutely fallen in love with. My friend Jess introduced me to them and I'm obsessed. They're great. They're actually bringing out a film of the games, which is a bit of a weird one. Casting looks a bit odd. I love Tom Holland, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I'd have cast him as Nate. I don't know. I'm intrigued about that film. I want to watch it now. I knew it was coming out before I'd started playing them, and now I've played most of them. I kind of want to watch it just because I'm like, you know, I love the games now, and I feel like it's going to be even better to watch, like, because I just understand it a bit more, but I don't know if it's gonna feel way different to the games. It probably will, so who knows. I will watch at some point because I'm intrigued. But yes, Uncharted, bloody brilliant. The next one is a book, which is The Comfort Book by Haig, and I had this for a while and I just hadn't got around to reading it properly. I'd read through it and flicked through it a little bit, but not sat down and read the whole thing. So it's just a collection of little, I spoke about this in a previous video, I think it was in my last weekly vlog. Some of it's like a sentence, like one page will have like a sentence on it. Some of it will be a couple of pages of different extracts or like stories that have inspired him. I read his book called, what's it called? Reasons to Stay Alive, and that was amazing. He's basically someone who suffered with depression and anxiety for a long time, and he's written quite a few books about it, and he's awesome. And this book really helped me when I was having some like anxious nights. I started making time every night to read through a little bit of it before bed, and it really helped. And yeah, it was great, and I just felt like it needed a mention in here because I started and finished it this month. It's not like a super long book, so it's not like it would take you a while to get through, because like I said, some pages are like a sentence or two, some are a little bit longer, but it's all short extracts, so it's easy to get through. So yeah, I've loved that. That's been really helpful for my brain as well. My next favourite is a film. I feel like if I just said I'll give you one guess as to what my favourite film has been this month, you would be able to guess it, because I mean everyone's talking about it and it's me. I love Disney, you can probably guess. I watched Encanto for the first time this month and it was brilliant. I'd seen a lot of hype over it, of course. especially on TikTok, and I was like, God, I hope this isn't overhyped, because I hate that when something's really overhyped and then it's a bit like, okay, it was good, but I was expecting so much more from it because of the hype. But this was great, and I get the hype. The soundtrack alone is amazing. I totally get why We Don't Talk About Bruno is #1 in the UK and the most popular Disney song ever now, so I totally get it. It's amazing. I love that song and I cannot stop listening to it, and it's just a really lovely film. It's not like my favourite Disney film ever, but I did love it. I really enjoyed it. I thought the storyline was really cute and I loved the characters. It was, yeah, it was great. But I'm sure most of you have already watched it by now, but if you haven't, go and watch it. Also, please excuse my hair. I tried going for the bunches vibe because I love how bunches look on a lot of people, but on me it just doesn't work, especially when this happens. This always happens. It's like my fringe that's really grown out that just doesn't quite know what to do. So yeah. Anyway, the next one is a series on Disney Plus. So I've actually been watching this with Andy and his brother Dom recently. We've been watching the Mickey Mouse shorts, the like newer ones. You've probably seen some of that on TikTok as well. It's just, oh my god, it's so funny. It's so funny. They're really short episodes. They're like 5 minutes each, if that. They're really short, but they're so funny. It's so good, so clever. They're one of those ones that if you take your eyes off the screen for a second, you like miss something hilarious. It's just brilliant. It's so good. I love them and I can't wait to watch more of them. I thought it'd probably be mainly for little kids, but it's actually quite hilarious. The next favourite is actually a podcast, which is unusual for me because I don't often listen to podcasts. I've listened to a couple in the past, but I don't normally go for podcasts. I don't know why. I think normally if I'm listening to Spotify, it's usually putting music on while I'm in a car, like on a car journey, like to work or something. But recently I've not known what to listen to when I've been in the car and stuff, and I'll just put anything on and I'm like, I don't know what I want to listen to. There's not a specific album at the moment that I want on repeat. I mean, I suppose Encanto's kind of changed that a little bit, but Andy actually introduced me to this podcast. A few people I know already listen to it, and it's called This Paranormal Life, and each week they just talk about different conspiracy theories or paranormal experiences that people have had, and some of them are like really famous, well-known stories, so you might know a lot about them. Like I listened to one recently about the Loch Ness Monster, and there's some that are like some more unusual ones, and they talk through it, they like do a load of research on it, and then at the end they decide whether they believe it's true or not. And it's been going for a while now, but I've gone back to the beginning to listen through them because Andy introduced me to them, and we listened to a couple while I was at his house, and it was so good, and I've loved listening to them in the car. They're like the perfect length for most of my car journeys, because my car journey to Andy's and to work, they're like the main places I drive to at the moment, to be honest. Half an hour to 40-minute drive, and that's about the length of each podcast, so it's like perfect. And it's just nice to just listen to a podcast while you're driving. I've preferred that recently to listening to music, so I've just been making my way through them. There are a lot to get through, but it's nice to have loads that I can just keep putting on whenever I'm in the car or anything like that. I've really enjoyed listening to that. I definitely recommend it. Andy actually sent in a recommendation for a story for them a while ago, and they actually did it, which is hilarious. They talked about the chained oak at Alton Towers. If you don't know that story, look it up. It's basically what Hex is based on, the ride. But yeah, he sent in that as a suggestion for something that they should talk about, so they actually used it, so that was really cool. But that was ages ago, but they're still going and I'm enjoying listening to them. So yeah, I definitely recommend that podcast if you like that sort of thing. I'm a bit of a nerd. I love paranormal stuff. I find it really fascinating, so it is my vibe and I love it. And now the final thing to mention, this has kind of been a bit of a weird favourites video. It's been a lot of random stuff that I've just enjoyed, I don't know, but I thought I would mention them because they've been my favourites for this month. It's the stuff I've been loving the most. And the last thing is a specific YouTube video that I found the other day in my subscription box, and I just thought it was really cool. I should have mentioned this after I talked about Uncharted because it is related, but there's someone I've been subscribed to for a while called Devin Graham, I think it is. His YouTube name is Devin Supertramp, and I subscribed to him probably like towards the start of me getting into YouTube because he made loads of really cool videos. Like, I can't even remember, like he does like short films and stuff, but he also did a few like silly ones where they'd make, what was the one I watched? I think there was like a giant, they're in like those inflatable balls like running through, but they made this whole thing. I can't remember, it's really hard to explain, but he makes all sorts of stuff like that. They're really cool videos, and I hadn't watched him in ages, but I was still subscribed to him, and I was in my subscription box the other day just catching up on some YouTube videos, and it came up with Uncharted versus Lara Croft versus Indiana Jones, and it was basically a short film of those three finding this treasure, because obviously in that sort of sense they are very similar characters. They all find this same bit of treasure, and it's basically them fighting over it, and it's brilliant. It's so good, and the fact that I've now played most of the Uncharted games, the fact that it just came up in my subscription box, I was like, yes, this looks great. And I just thought it was really awesome. It's really well made, like so good. My nerdy side, which is, I say my nerdy side, every side of me is my nerdy side. I'm just a big nerd, but my nerdy heart absolutely loved it. So I thought I would mention that. And as you can see, this is probably the most nerdy favourites video you've ever watched, but at least you now can see into my life a bit more. It's nice to start talking about stuff like this more, because I didn't really do videos about all the nerdy stuff I like. I don't know why, but now I do, and this is basically how I spend most of my free time, is listening to nerdy podcasts or playing nerdy games or watching nerdy videos. That is just me. So here you go. But those are all of my favourites that I could think of for this month. I've probably missed things. Sorry, I've been messing with this a lot and my hair a lot. I'm just but I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been nice to sit down and do a favourites video for you. Probably quite short and sweet, but makes a change because a lot of the time I ramble for about an hour. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this favourites video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know anything you've been loving this month, if you have any similar favourites to me. I'll be very surprised. Maybe Encanto. I feel like that's probably a lot of people's favourites this month. But let me know down below. Let me know any suggestions you have for videos as well. I have a few in mind that I want to film, but if you have any recommendations, please let me know. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well. I have two Instagram accounts. I have my main Instagram account, which is Esme Hill, and then I also have another account called Esme's Patronus, which is for all things Disney, Harry Potter, that sort of thing. I was going to make just a Disney account and like post pictures from like Disney trips and stuff like that, but I kind of wanted to mix it with Harry Potter and stuff as well, and just any magical stuff like that. I've seen a lot of people do it. My friend Molly has her own account. That's what inspired me to do it. Go follow me over there as well if you'd like. Follow me on TikTok if you want. That's Esme Hill. Just promoting all of my socials apparently. But yes, that is everything. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. And let me know how many of you couldn't take your eyes off this little bit of hair for the entire video, because I definitely couldn't. Bye!